High school rugby is going live from Edberg Field at Torrey Pines High School in San Diego, California. It's the Torrey Pines Falcons hosting the Costa Canyon MAVERICKS. I'm Dallin Stanford, former US 7th International World Rugby commentator, and joining me on the call is former US Eagle and current Sleek sensation Will Hooley. Thanks for tuning in to the SoCal Premier League Semi-Final. This presentation of high school rugby is brought to you by USA Youth and High School Rugby. USA Youth and High School Rugby is building the future of the sport across America, igniting passion in new players, elevating school and community programs, and creating real pathways from first touch to lifelong opportunity. On field just like this one, athletes are discovering a game where everyone belongs. And Rugby Riot. Looking for a better way to follow high school rugby? Scan the QR code on your screen or head to rankings.rugbyriot.com for the Rugby Riot Hub, ranking scores, team pages, and coverage from around the country. Rugby Riot giving high school rugby the hype it deserves. And TVX Sports Video. TVX Sports Video has been covering sports in Southern California and around the country for nearly 20 years, and we are committed to bringing you the best live, local, and emerging sports coverage. Well, it's brilliant to be here with you. Will, fantastic to have your company, my friend. Two of the best teams they are left standing.
Dallin, it's phenomenal to be with you, my friend. It's great to see high school rugby here on TVX Sports Video. Great work that they do, and great work from these two teams today. Two great programs. I know both you and I have had the honor of commentating on them previously, leading up into this semi-final action. And to be honest, there's some great matchups. There's talent all across the field. I want to look in particular at, or keep an eye out, I should say, on the number 8, Shay Farkash for the Torrey Pines, the Falcons. He's a beast of a carrier at number 8 for them. And then across his opposite man, Luke Hensley for LCC. Was really impressed just by his ball-playing ability as much as also being a quality forward attacker. And then the 10s. Well, Dallin, I'm a former number 10, so I've got to say this. But look out for Falcons, Reese Curtis, and then LCC's Max Rakono. That is a clash that I am certainly going to be keeping my eye on.
And well, this Torrey Pines side, they've been unbelievable. 8-0, including the preseason so far. La Costa Canyon, their storyline, 5-1 coming into this. But can anybody stop Torrey Pines, my friend?
I just don't know. I mean, look, they both had some exceptional performances. I remember seeing both these teams go up against Cathedral Catholic. Cathedral Catholic obviously being the champions from last year, so it was a great milestone for these two programs to get that win over them. I think Torrey Pines hold the key, hold maybe the favourites tag today. They're unbeaten so far this season, and remember, Dallin, back in January, they beat LCC. Will that be maybe on the minds of the Mavericks that they have lost against this Falcons side, or is that something that spurs them on?
Yeah, it's a home match for Torrey Pines, known as the Falcons. Great support they have as well. And these players would love to make the final, which will happen next week. The other semi-final, Orange Lutheran taking on Mira Costa. Another exciting game there. Let's see how these players get on today. But I'm just so impressed, Will, with the talent on display from these young stars. Rugby's thriving and is thriving in California, particularly here in Southern California.
Just, I mean, look at this beautiful day we've got here. The weather is shining on, what you say, fantastic talent as both teams are getting themselves ready and set. And I think what we can expect is different styles of play. Just be prepared to see a bit more forward dominance coming in from Torrey Pines Falcons. They really do like to try and build those carries around the men like Shay Farkash. And then for LCC, they put some width on the ball. They've got a physicality to their game as well. But that man, Max Rakono, the number 10 for LCC, he has an outstanding playmaker ability. So it's great to see the standard of play being so good at this level of the game. Here in Southern California, but all across America, we need youth and high school to continue to develop as we build towards the World Cup in 2031. Hey, Dallin, you never know. We might be looking at some players playing today that might be in that World Cup on US soil come 2031.
I certainly believe that. Now time for the national anthem of the United States of America.
Everybody stand.
All in readiness for this brilliant clash. In white on the left, the Costa Canyon. Mentioned the captain Oscar Estrada has been fantastic in recent weeks. Torrey Pines led by Andrew Tate, the inside centre, the big frame that carries really well. He'll be in black today.
Best of luck to our referee today, Tony.
And Torrey Pines enter as the number 1 seed, the defending SoCal champions. Falcons have leaned on their structure, territory and discipline all season. The Costa Canyon, he built their team around winning collisions and phase play with some patient build-ups. And you mentioned some of the great players on display, but any keys that you could share on this game before kickoff, Will?
Well, it's going to come down to knockout rugby, isn't it? And having experienced that myself, it's not about playing the occasion. Can these teams show what have brought them to this stage? They have the game plans, they have the players. I love seeing this ball dance from the Mavericks. It's all about having that confidence early on. We'll see how this game plays out, but 2 physical sides, Dallin. You've got to say it's going to be one in the forwards. As a former back, I never used to like saying that, but ultimately, forwards win you the game. The backs decide by how much. Watch out for the big men. They're going to be pivotal today.
Well said, Will Hurley. All in readiness for the 2026 semi-final in the SoCal Premier League. You're watching high school rugby, the best players to do it. And it's Torrey Pines kicking off from right to left. The Falcons, as they're called, against the Costa Canyon Mavericks. Mavericks, their coach talked with him, Michael Makuru in Uganda, after the sad passing of his mother. Nick Rukono will be the coach for Costa Canyon. And for Torrey Pines, Matty Sandoval leads the charge there. The first take of the game, it's the Mavericks' possession on the left of your screen. Luke Hensley, the big number 8, is certainly one to watch. The halfback Dylan Delport, such a creative play. He's got some beautiful box kicks that he executes well, and he puts one up straight away. Lovely jump there. The ball sits on the ground. Torrey Pines have lost this one in that contact zone. So Costa Canyon with a perfect start so far. They work their way to the halfway line and get their forwards involved now. They crash it upfield. Dunphy getting involved. Mitchell Farmer and Henry Mallory, the other front row forwards. And the first penny of the game will belongs to the visiting side.
An excellent start by Dylan Delport, the scrum half for the Mavericks. That left foot box kick, I remember seeing it. Very strong in that game against the Cathedral Catholic side a few weeks ago. Excellent awareness of where you are on the pitch. I talked about maybe a bit of nerves coming into this game. You don't need to play and throw the ball around too much in your own half, particularly early on in the game. Really good game management from the scrum half of the Mavericks, putting an excellent kick up in the air, putting pressure, therefore, on the Falcons. And ultimately, from that pressure, yes, they were offside, but they were always on the back foot, the Falcons, and that's why they have this penalty.
Liam Dunphy throws, nice catch there from Hensley. Rukono now floats one wide in midfield. Looking to attack the breakdown is Torrey Pines, but it stays with Costa Canyon. They change direction to the left. Getting their forwards involved. Nice structured play so far. Rukono whips it away. Oh, beautiful one-handed ball flood on the far side, trying to streak away, but good cover tackles coming in to stop that. We'll come back to the penalty.
And it's that man, Luke Hensley, Dallin. I said watch out for him. The number 8 for the Mavericks. I'm pretty sure that was him on the far side. He has such a good ability with ball in hand. He's a big lumbering frame. He's certainly not lacking any height, and he uses his height just to get his hands out of the contact, enabling that offload. That is excellent work. I know for a fact that USA Under-20s coaches will be looking at him for the future, and obviously with the USA Under-18s as well, a definite prospect. I'm sure he'll put on some size in due course, but wonderful athleticism from the number 8 for the Mavericks.
He scores some brilliant tries as well. As Oscar Estrada throws, good set piece. Rukono now, they take it in midfield. Farmer carries a few extra meters. Great work here from the Mavericks. Down to the left-hand side. The numbers there, and they get it away. Here's a little bit of space to work, and this pass just goes down towards the ground. Looking very dangerous early on.
A clear tactic of trying to hit the midfield hard and then coming back to that blind side. Already a couple of early carries. Mitchell Farmer, I think it was, in the midfield, just getting over the gain line and then snapping back in the reverse direction, trying to catch that Falcons defense folding too much.
The Mavericks not straight this time at line-out time, so their first error in this game will give possession finally to the home side to Torrey Pines.
Torrey Pines just want to get themselves as settled as they can be. Matty Sandoval's done so much great work, the head coach, not just for the Falcons, but for rugby here in Southern California. As you mentioned already, Dallin, such a hotbed of great talent, great high school talent coming through. And what's also great is these players will know each other as well. There's some great high school club programs, none other than the San Diego Mustangs. There's players on this team that will know either side. Looking forward to playing against each other.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That camaraderie and friendship off the field, they're now doing battle on it, and the Falcons boosted by a couple of players returning back from injury. They have Shea Farcash, Duck Choi, and Ewan Hope Bell, all important forwards on their side. You mentioned Farcash called a couple of games early in the season. He was dominant, scored a hat-trick in one of the games. An absolute live wire. He sits at the back of the scrum, ready to engage. Alex Bridson looking to feed here as they've reset. Reese Curtis is the fly-off waiting, so penalty pulling down at scrum time.
Strong back and forwards, this Falcons side. They will not mind trying to keep the ball in the scrum, or even on this early line out, Dallin maybe going to an early maul as Reese Curtis, excellent operator at fly half, kicks it just inside the Mavericks half. They've got some big boys. You mentioned Farcash, but there's plenty as well. Duck Choi, as you mentioned as well, he's come back from injury lately. Another just big frame, and they try and play to their strengths, get themselves settled. Interesting to go for a short line out here. I expect them, though, to keep it pretty close up the forwards, make it a physical game.
Yeah, good call about the short line, and some of the forwards were late in arriving. One of them is Gabriel Garcia. So referee just having a chat. Need to get set early. Ewan Hope Bell. So Nick Cage to throw for Torrey Pines. First time we're going to see them on attack. Good lift, the back line with Curtis. Look to attack here. Short ball behind. A couple of players breaking through in midfield. Brilliant. Breakout assist from Andrew Tage. The captain leading by example. Support arrives.
Well done, Falcons.
Britson moves it to the left. Here we go with a little step. Rick and German. Still there now for the forwards to attack. Rumbling. Good carry again from this Nick Tage. The home side. Looking to set this field alight. The Falcons in black move it to the right hand side. Garcia bounces out of one. Support arrives from the big frame of Waterhouse. Kick over the top here. Chase from Reese Curtis. Well handled, but again, that was playing with advantage. The fly thought to try something, of course.
Yeah, you've got to when it's off. Some free ball, playing an advantage there for the Falcons. And straight away, you can see the tactics of what the Falcons want to try and do. They're going to try and batter the door down, get over the gain liners. Actually, Reese Curtis opts for this penalty and going for goal, maybe trying to get an early 3 points on the board. But it's very much a Torrey Pines structure. They want to beat you up front. They want to get themselves over the gain line and then allow the likes of fly half Reese Curtis to come onto the ball on the front foot. LCC, mindful of that. Their defense holding pretty firm is a really good first line-out attack by the Falcons. Pulling it out the back, as you said there, to Andrew Tate, the captain, who got a nice line break. But first points potentially of the game, Dallin, and it could go to the Falcons.
That's right. Knockout rugby. Take points on offer. Reese Curtis, the young fly-off, lines this one up. As the crowd here falls to a silent hush. Curtis for Torrey Pines.
Kick is up.
And pulls this one to the left.
The flags of the side referees are at their side. So that would indicate that the kick was missed.
22-meter dropout for La Costa Canyon. So score remains nearly 10 minutes gone. It's 0-0 in this SoCal Premier League semi-final Beautiful Torrey Pines High School here, Edberg Field, the venue. Stunning conditions for some running rugby as well. Can't say that for our friends on the East Coast. Snowstorms and treacherous conditions. Here we have Dylan Delport. Such a talented player. Torrey Pines, the Falcons, looking for a counter-attack now, and they've dropped this one. That's unfortunate. And a big day for the Mavericks, Will.
I think, to be fair, that looked like 9. Alex Bridson, he's had his hand in the air. Maybe that sun is right in front of him as the ball was high and hanging from that 22-meter dropout. And just when the Falcons got going, it's some great field territory for the Mavericks now to mount an attack from the scrum. Definitely some live wires in this forward pack, as I mentioned already. Luke Hensley at the back of this scrum at 8. Expect him just to take it into his own hands. Also Max Rakono at 10. They've got some threats out wide as well, but really good opportunity now for the Mavericks off that mistake by the Falcons.
Delport feeds. Was looking for early ball, but a referee just awarding a penalty to Costa Canyon. So just when they were on the other end of potentially conceding 3 points, they'll have Max Rakono put him downfield for an attacking lineout.
Yeah, I was just trying to hear what the referee saw in the end. I think it looked like coming in at the side there from the scrum. And as you mentioned, Dallin, just a couple of easy outs from being under pressure. The Mavericks, there was the drop ball, now the penalty, and they find themselves getting this attacking line out inside the half, and see them now come alive.
Oscar Strada with another good throw as Liam Dunphy grabs this one with a rolling maul for the Mavericks. Dylan Delport is on the side, the ball pops out. And a knock on in, and applauding here are the Torrey Pines players. They've stopped that forward momentum.
As I said before the game, it's going to be that battle up front. It's going to be at the set piece. It's going to be these little wins. And maybe for Torrey Pines, that's already a notch on the belt. Just upsetting the set piece, upsetting the drive there is definitely what they're going to have to continue to do if they want to win that matchup. Only the first 10 minutes, no points on the board so far. I've had that one missed penalty from Falcons, but it already looks like it's going to be a physical contest.
Yeah, around the fringes was Alex Bridson. Good tackle, forces a knock on. You mentioned the game they played earlier this season in January. 21-15 the score. Torrey Pines won just by a lone try.
You wonder just how much, Dallin, and you know, you've played plenty of times as well in the years where has-beens now, but you remember just what it's like when you have that feeling of just losing out on an opposition. Yes, a few months ago now, a couple of months ago, or sorry, just over a month ago, time is flying. And it might just spur the Mavericks on today.
Here they go with Delport, you're right about that. Wide ball here, skip pass from Rakono. Now after getting on the edge of the field, looking to cut back in beautifully. Support arrives. Can they get clean possession back here for the Mavericks? Coons crashes upfield. Such a big body is Zach Coons. Torrey Pines bring him to the deck. Max Rakono waits at first receiver down the fringes. Is such an elusive play. The flag goes up, but this time there's no way through to score for Dylan Delport.
Thought you were going to tell me he was slippery like the eel he can be on that left-hand side, Dallin. Nearly away, Dylan Delport. As a scrum half, you've really got to back yourself. If you're going to take it down that blind alley, you better make sure that you're into a gap and away. Good defence in the end for the Falcons, and unfortunately for Delport, sneaky little move didn't pull off in the end.
Trying things in the semi-final, like to see it. They go to the front of the line. It's good clean ball here for the Falcons to attack with. That's a beautiful carry over the advantage line. Put themselves on the front foot, loose ball. Bridson throws it back. Reese Curtis with a big boot downfield. The massive kick, Rakono is there to receive. The Mavericks now with their own counter-attack. Beautiful skills as they beat up the meters. A lovely carry from Luke Hensley, the big number 8. Delport finds his fly half, steps off the left, scored one of the tries of the season with a little chip over the top and gather himself. Catch that in the Rugby Riot Instagram and socials. Big strong fend yet again. This is Ryan Scully for Costa Canyon. The Mavericks having plenty of possession in this game to work with. Oh, that one floated forward, it looked like. Big strong tackle coming in from Torrey Pines.
Really good defensive set in the end there from Torrey Pines, and you're right, a couple of big hits coming in, but what I love to see was that counter-attack from the Mavericks. Not afraid to try and mount the attack from deep, particularly when they put the likes of Luke Hensley in the backfield. It creates that extra man and it gains some really good territory. So already what we've seen from the Mavericks is they have that kicking game ability with the likes of Delport putting some really good box kicks up in the air, but also if the Falcons kick long and they don't really have a good defensive chasing line, then that's also where the Mavericks look like they can get the upper hand on the counter.
Here come the Falcons now towards the right. There's a bit of space to operate here. Strong carry. Eden Sorensen takes it to the far side. Choi goes in a scrum off. More big hits come in on Bryson Waterhouse. Here's Nick Tate trying to step his way free. It's Torrey Pines now, find themselves with possession. Some nice carries. Bell around the fringes. And this time at the breakdown, penalty conceded against the attacking side.
Not releasing, some good defensive work this time from the Mavericks as the Falcons are coming thick and fast on that attack. What they just need to be mindful of, Dallin, is some really good carries, but they can't be on their own. If you're going to be just carrying with a one-up player and your support player is not there to make that clear out, to regenerate the ball back to your side, that is where the Mavericks will get turnovers like they did there. So some excellent carries from the forwards of Falcons, but they've got to make sure that they have their support runners there with them.
Yes, such an important part of the game, being accurate at those set pieces. And of course, at ruck time, Matty Sandoval, coach for Torrey Pines, said LCC is a handful. He's happy to put that one behind us. That was their first encounter. Well, right now, 15 minutes gone, still 0-0. And it is the visiting team that is playing a lot of the rugby so far. There's Liam Dunphy again with another strong carry over the halfway line. The Mavericks continue with possession. Delport, beautiful flick pass. Rukono at a standing start. Runs into some heavy contact through Duck Choi with a big tackle.
Referee having a word with the captains.
Just waiting to see whether we can make out what the referee is saying. There might have been a bit of back chat. There might have even been a little bit of a late shot as we look here. I did think for Delport, he got a little bit unlucky. You can't play the 9 from the breakdown. Then that late shot, maybe some chat. Yeah, it looks like it was a talk back to the referee, which the referee is definitely not going to have this afternoon, Dallin. So for the Mavericks in the end, that's the last thing I want to do. An easy penalty. Falcons now, they can get going. And we've already seen them have one line-out success and break away on a 30-meter line break. So here we go, back in Falcons' hands.
All about composure in this knockout game. Ewan Hope Bell with a nice take. Not contesting. And then the ball spills forward as well, so some clever defense in the end from Costa Canyon.
Really, really clever defense. And we've already talked about how the Falcons have a very good set piece. They have a good line out, and they are known to have a very strong line out drive as well. So what are one of the ways of getting around that? Well, exactly what LCC did there. They didn't engage with it. Therefore, the Falcons couldn't just move forward without potentially being in an offside position. That obviously threw them, and they ended up dropping the ball. Some good work there from LCC.
Delport moves it across to his fly off. Rukono with a big kick downfield, able to get it on the bounce of Torrey Pines for a counter. Finn Johnson beats the first line. Driven back in the tackle. The Falcons now find themselves with their own kick downfield from their fly off. Curtis.
Fielded by the Mavericks.
Well fielded in that far side, looking for a little step, trying to weave some magic. Here's the left wing, Avi Danger player with ball in hand. Here comes Delport shaping for one of his box kicks. Chasers are not there, so it gives time for Torrey Pines for their counter-attack. Oh, they've lost this one. Looking dangerous initially, and then Finn Johnson just let go of that.
Just spelt it, didn't he? Wasn't even under loads of pressure. I wondered for a moment when Delport did the box kick, he didn't have his winger there ready to chase. So it was the right idea for the Falcons. It was the right idea by Johnson for the counter-attack to potentially see if he could find a mismatch in front of him. He then just loses control of the ball. We are still just inside the first 20 minutes in this first half, Dallin, and we are still waiting for a side to really find their feet.
That's right, I'm Dallin Stafford alongside Will Hurley. Major League Rugby and US Eagles sensation as a flat ball is thrown here for Costa Canyon. Again, they find themselves in opposition territory. Racona looking to go wide. Then numbers to burn here for the Mavericks on the outside. Great tackle coming in and intercept as well. It's been knocked out there from Duck Choi. And Cal Muldrum doing some damage on that far side. So they will get possession back with the Mavericks. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Muldrum. Just to keep the ball in play, he was looking like he was going to get tackled into the sideline, but just kind of maybe deliberately got that offload that hit the Falcons player and comes off that Falcons player on that far side. So that's why it's a Mavericks line out. Really good play from the Mavericks to get it to that width. Max Racono firing that ball out wide. He's a dangerous playmaking attacker.
Estrada with a throw. It's tapped down Racono here at first receiver. The crowd baying for a high shot advantage for the Mavericks. Costa Canyon to the left with Delport. Can they get the opening score in this game? They'll go back to the penalty, and it's a quick tap from Delport. Finds Racono looking for the line. Racono's very close. Can't get it over. It's still there though for the Mavericks. And holding on is the call. Stunning defense from the Falcons just when you thought they were conceding the opening try.
And you can hear the roar from the home crowd. What defense. And I'm going to call out the two main players who are involved in that. It was Shafar Cash with a big hit, literally on his try line, stopping the Mavericks attacker dead, and then the turnover. Bryson Waterhouse. Man, he needs a pat on the back. That was a monster turnover. What a moment as well, just stopping the Mavericks on the line. And Dallin, sometimes you get obviously the best reaction from the crowd when you score a try, but when you prevent a try, the home crowd enjoyed that one.
So vocal, so loud. Big play from those two forwards. Now it's a chance for them to get more possession. Coons goes to the ground and ball pass, so it will now go the other way to the Mavericks. Wow. 10th time so far here in the first half.
That's a bit of a coach killer, isn't it? I can only imagine if we had a close ISO camera on Matty Sandoval, he would have probably hated to see that, just when you've done such good work to relieve pressure. And then a simple forward pass now offers the Mavericks this scrum inside the Falcons 22.
Here we go. Mavericks with Hensley picks the big number 8. Fends the first. Needs help as Garcia looks to pinch this one. And he's all over that. It's Gabriel Garcia drawing the penalty. These two heavyweights going blow for blow.
You've got to love it, haven't you? Certainly when I see this physicality, Dallin, I do not miss being out there playing. These guys are flying into it. But it's the same thing that I said about the Falcons, that the Mavericks and someone like Luke Hensley's got to be mindful as well. When you take the ball up from that pickup, someone's got to be on his shoulder. He's got to try and maybe fight a little bit harder to stay on his feet. Hensley, if I'm going to be ultra critical. But then for the Mavericks, get excited, be there, get to the breakdown, win the ball back, and then you can build the phases. So far, it's just something that is letting both sides down at the ruck, the breakdown.
Torrey Pines. Now they take it in midfield. Patch gets rid of a couple, doing really well as the inside centre support arrives. Ezra Hyde is there also. Now the forwards with Garcia rumble upfield. And the Falcons get into their rhythm. They go to the right-hand side. Big fan, but the Costa Canyon come up with a good defensive line to stop the forward momentum. Torrey Pines again around the halfway line. Birdson moves it to the right. Little half gap almost appearing. Ruckers need to arrive, and Jumon is there. Flying into the line. Dak Choi. Such a hard-working player. Farkash with advantage now for Torrey Pines. Charge down, but nothing happens from the free play from Reese Curtis.
Reese Curtis will decide what he wants to do.
Just waiting to see Reese Curtis make that decision. He has got a very good boot. He has, though, had one penalty goal missed so far this afternoon as he decides to go and take that ball just inside the Mavericks 22. It's abrasive, isn't it, Dallin? Their style of attack, really trying to get that gain line win. Big Shea Farkash, they ask a lot of him to get through the carries and get them those meters. Well, the pressure it mounted, and that's why they got that penalty. And the Falcons now finally are in the Mavericks 22.
Nick Tage. Again, good set piece this time. La Costa Canyon contest. More being driven backwards. Don't see that happen a lot. Great bit of work there from the Mavericks. Delport comes in as well. Torrey Pines maintain this one. Hope Bell picks around the fringes. The big number 7. Eddie Lavis is there as well.
Falcons on the attack with their big forwards.
Now bringing their forwards. And getting all over this one is La Costa Canyon and drawing their own penalty back.
Another turnover to the books. Add that. Both sides giving that up a little bit too easy. Just when they're gaining some momentum. With the Falcons clearly trying to just work their way, getting yards from those pick and goes, both blindside and open side. But still, both teams are lacking getting through any sort of phases. And when you build phases, Dallin, then you build that extra pressure. That's when you get overlaps. That's when you get missed tackles, when the defense gets tired. At the moment, it's just not having quite that control.
That's right, 10 minutes to go in the first half. Delport, under all sorts of pressure, fires it away to Rukono. This is good width on attack, and the intercept was coming, and it's dropped. They read it initially superbly, and then just put it down. So close, Will.
So close. Reese Curtis. Nearly all over that, reading it like a book. Credit to the Mavericks, going off the top from the line out, going for the width straight away. I thought they might try and set up a bit of a exit strategy. I'm not sure if the play was good, but either way you went But from this, they come off the top, they go out the back. Reese Curtis nearly absolutely picks it beautifully. Can't quite hold it. For the Mavericks, they get away with that.
Defensive scrum, well inside their half, or La Costa Canyon.
The referee Tony making sure that everybody is safe in these scrums.
Nick Rukono, one of the coaches, as we said, Mark Rukuru watches currently in Uganda as they kick downfield. The Mavericks chasing up on this one. It's an awkward bounce. Page picks this up for Torrey Pines. On the right-hand side, oh, beautiful breakout. Being the first, Gabriel Garcia. Couldn't get the pass away, so they keep it. Ritson moves it to the left-hand side. Forwards getting into a couple of phases. Crossfield kick here from Curtis. Well controlled here from the Mavericks. They fielded superbly, looking for their own counter. Scully with a beautiful run. The outside centre doing superb work. Now, Dylan Delport goes to the air. There are a couple of chasers. Nobody wants this one initially, and it falls away beautifully. Here we go, La Costa Canyon, the Mavericks racing away. Henry Mallory is an absolute sleek sensation. The big unit running like a back. What a try, what a highlight.
Never let a rugby ball bounce. It could go anywhere, and it went perfectly into the hands of Henry Mallory. As you say, Talon, the big man can move. He still had a lot of work to do. Misjudged there from Curtis, unfortunately. Maybe the sun got in his eyes. And once that ball hit the turf, Mallory, excellent awareness to get on that ball, and away he goes. We finally have a breakout in this game, and it's the Mavericks, the visiting side, who get our first try.
An unbelievable score. All hustle with that follow-up. The front row forward, Henry Mallory, has the first say in this game. From in front, Max Rucono looks for the extra two. Flags go up, it's 7-0. The Mavericks lead the Falcons here, 26 minutes gone in this SoCal Premier League semi-final, and what an unbelievable try, Will.
A fantastic try, a little bit fortuitous, obviously with the bounce of the ball. I think for Torrey Pines, they went for that cross kick. I understand the tactic, but it was a little bit too deep from Reese Curtis. He needed to hang the ball up and make it a little bit of a shorter, more competible or completable kick, I should say. Because in the end, Mavericks were able just to catch it, set up a counter-attack, and away they went. The box kick went up from Delport. No one could take it on the full. It got the bounce, and Mallory, well, the big man was there. And we have our first try.
Remarkable moment in this game. Try scorer receives this one, bounces up a couple. Unfortunately, a player got in front, so crossing is the call. So initially from the try-scoring hero, now conceding a penalty. The chance for Torrey Pines. And they may look for the touchline again, Will.
They are. This is a bit of a gift, potentially for the Falcons, just to literally come straight back in. I always think you are sometimes the most vulnerable after you've just scored. When you're receiving that restart, everyone's hyped, excited. You need to reset. You need to just make sure you do the basics well. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication and that simple penalty offside there. And the Falcons have this lineup.
Now the Falcons with possession. Garcia hits the ground. Good throw there from Nick Tage. What can they do here on their home field? Busting up the middle with the forwards from Torrey Pines. Waterhouse in there also.
They're going to give it to the forwards again.
Another crash.
Again, Costa defending well.
Alex Bridson works the forwards. They go in there. Groups of two, carrying really well, keeping the body low to the ground. The Falcons need an answer here. They get within a meter. Forwards fighting to keep this alive. Still there for the side in black on attack. Another pod to the deck. The Costa Canyon throwing everything at it as well on the defensive side. The stick and drive pushes it towards the side. Liam Fecco in helping out as well. Again another low crash. Gabriel Garcia. And we have a penalty 5 out and a talking to as well.
He's calling a stoppage of the clock.
I know you might want to get a replay on that, on the final play, whatever it is. Whenever the ref does this, it calls the players.
So they're coming back for the penalty, which was offside. The try wasn't given because it was a double movement. It certainly looked that way. I was trying to maybe see if I could either hear the referee or do a little bit of lip reading, Dallin. It's another talent that I sometimes have. But unfortunately, yeah, the try wasn't to be. So close. Desperate defense from the Mavericks. Penalty coming from offside, though. But this is interesting. Falcons are going to go for the tap and go.
Here they go to Waterhouse.
Torrey on the charge, but LCC
Big charge from the front row forward.
There it is.
Support arrives. Barcash getting involved.
Great defense.
The try scoring machine as well. Garcia standing on the left-hand side. And we go to the pocket potentially for a yellow card. Repeated infringements near the goal line. Just the penalty in the end.
I think he's very lucky there, Dallin. I don't know about what you think, but number 13, Ryan Scully, he knew exactly what he was doing. Was off his feet, try to win the ball back for the Mavericks. You're not allowed to do that if you're off your feet, so that's why it's a penalty. I thought he was going to go the referee to his pocket for the card. He doesn't. That's definitely got to be the last warning. The Falcons don't tap and go this one. They set up this scrum. Don't be surprised if you see big Shea Farcash, the number 8, pick this up and go himself.
Well, Will, you spot on. The referee did go to his pocket and then decided to keep the card in his pocket. So threw us off. It was tense times there for Mavericks fans. The net result, still 15 on the field for both sides. As we have about 3 minutes to go to the halftime break, the Mavericks lead 7-0. But it's the Falcons that now look to pounce. Farcash, the number 8. Look at the pick, trying to get this one after scrum. He's now inside the scrum. Ball's loose, it pops out in the end. And scrum off, Britson grabs this one. Picking driving again, the forwards. Hope Bell was in there. Here's Farcash to the right. Rumbling through a couple of players, getting very close. Some more forward play around the fringes, inching their way towards that try line.
They're still attacking.
The Falcons desperate to be the next team to score, and they're over the line. What a try that is. The forwards go to work, and it's a big play from Duck Choi.
Big play from a big man, Duck Choi. One of the talisman for the Falcons, and the home crowd have something to cheer about. It was patience. They stayed really patient around that breakdown, picking and going, and they arrived in numbers. I've been saying how many times you've got to make sure that when you pick and go or you go and make the carry on your own, you've got to have support with you. Big Duck Choi, in the end, he thinks he's close to the line just to go himself, but it was the build-up in that, the patience in their carries. And when you're about a meter out, it's pretty hard to stop a man like Big Duck Choi.
Couldn't see who actually made the try.
An excellent try from the Falcons. They're all in this game with an extra 2 to tie things up potentially from Fly for Reese Curtis. Very nice kick. We're locked at 7 apiece. And a stunning try indeed. Make sure you support all these live streams like this one. Free to watch on YouTube. You can show your support by dropping a super chat during the broadcast or by hitting the join button and joining the TVX Sports Video membership program. Every donation goes towards supporting live, local and emerging sports. Well, we're certainly live, we're certainly local. And this sport, wow, this high school level was thoroughly entertaining so far this first half.
It is indeed, and how good is it here in Southern California? Dallin, there's a reason that we live down here, buddy. I'm telling you, this time of year, what a beautiful day to play rugby. Not too hot as well. The conditions are making out to be perfect for this running rugby game.
Big kick downfield. Oh, that's a stunning kick in the end from Torrey Pines. Has it gone out on the full? We'll check to see here. And that is half-time. It has been a bruising encounter in the opening 35 minutes. A try apiece, Will. And we witnessed some excellent rugby, but of course a low-scoring game. It's something you expect here with these two big sides in the semi-final.
Well, these two teams last met in January. The Falcons only just winning that within a score. You're right, Dallin, it's going to be tight, it's going to be attritional. What we've seen so far is both teams playing physical rugby, big hard carries, but in the end it's just been that little bit of lack of control. There's been plenty of turnovers and a few forced errors in there. You think in this second half, will it open up as both teams become potentially a little bit more fatigued? Both have had their opportunities, both have scored. We've got a big second half coming up.
Well, let's thank our partners first. The presentation of high school rugby is brought to you by USA Youth and High School Rugby. USA Youth and High School Rugby is building a future of sport across America, igniting passion in new players, elevating school and community programs, creating real pathways from first touch to lifelong opportunity. On field just like this one, athletes are discovering a game where everyone belongs. And also a big thanks to Rugby Riot. Looking for a better way to follow high school rugby? Scan the QR code on your screen or head to rankings.rugbyriot.com for the Rugby Riot Hub, ranking scores, team pages and coverage from around the country. Rugby Riot, giving high school rugby the hype it deserves. And TVX Sports Video. TVX Sports Video has been covering sports in Southern California and around the country for nearly 20 years, and we're committed to bringing you the best live, local and emerging sports coverage. Well, that'll do us for halftime. We're going to take a short break, come back with second half action. It's 7 apiece between the Costa Canyon MAVERICKS and the Torrey Pines FALCONS here in the SoCal Premier League semi-final for the year 2026. I'm Dallas Stanford alongside Will Hooley. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Hook up out here.
Perfect. Thank you.
USA Youth and High School Rugby is building the future of the game in America, one youth player at a time. Our mission is simple: inspire a rugby revolution through a sport that's fun-filled, safe, and rooted in respect and community. Your support helps fund coaching, growth initiatives, and local programs that expand access for kids nationwide. Learn more and help grow grassroots rugby today.
The one rising's already plugged in. That was the second rising. Black, no, it's black. It's a little bit bigger than
USA Youth and High School Rugby is building the future of the game in America, one youth player at a time. Our mission is simple: inspire a rugby revolution through a sport that's fun-filled, safe, and rooted in respect and community. Your support helps fund coaching, growth initiatives, and local programs that expand access for kids nationwide. Learn more and help grow grassroots rugby today.
We'll come back to Edberg Field at Torrey Pines High School in San Diego, California. 7-all between these two brilliant sides, the Costa Canyon and Torrey Pines. Gives us a chance to look at the first half highlights, Will.
Yeah, it's been an attritional first half. Battle certainly up front, but also many other facets of this game. Seeing here plenty of kicking action, and talking of kicking action, this was the ball that bounced, and it bounced perfectly into the hands of Henry Mallory. Fantastic from the big man to just be there at the right place at the right time. Note for all youngsters out there, do not, certainly try not to let a rugby ball bounce on the turf. It could go anywhere, but it landed into the hands of Mallory. He got the first try. We've seen some really strong attack as well, but also some really good last-ditch defending in the end. This one coming from the Torrey Pines FALCONs. They were patient, close to the line. They got this opportunity, and it was that man, number 4, Big Duck Choi. Great to see him back. He's had some time out with injury this high school season, but the big man, the talisman, got the Falcons over. The home side back on the board and leveled things up. We have a 7-apiece game, Dallin, and I don't know about you, but this contest looks like it's going to properly fire up into the second half as maybe things just open up a little bit more.
Yeah, players and teams getting in their rhythm as well. Just a reminder for our audience watching, the winner will advance to the SoCal final next week. The other two teams playing in this one are Orange Lutheran and Mirror Costa. That's the other semi-final. And then the SoCal champion plays the NorCal winner for the California State Championship. So much on the line for these high school players. And also mention to Torrey Pines head coach Matty Sandoval. He's being inducted in the Hall of Fame for University of San Diego this evening. So that's a brilliant honor, Will.
As I said, I think in the first half, when mentioning about Matty Sandoval, he's been such a servant to rugby down here in Southern California. You know as much as I know, Dallin, some of the servants who have helped grow and develop the game over here, and really you're seeing just the quality. That's what I've been so impressed by, and I've been more than happy to talk it up on social media. Great content that's coming out from Rugby Riot, and then of course TVX Sports Video capturing the talent on display. The rugby is really top level quality. These guys have been coached brilliantly from the likes of someone like Matty Sandoval. And now they're playing in the big games. The semi-final action, the second half underway.
Here we go. La Costa Canyon kicking off from right to left. Torrey Pines in black receive this. 7 apiece.
Good recovery from the
Possession there for Alex Bridsund. Or low ball to handle for Flav Reese Curtis. Does well to push this one towards the touchline. And we said it's brilliant to be here in Southern California. This is the Edberg Field in Torrey Pines High School. I'm Dallin Stanford alongside Will Hurley. Will, you've covered plenty of these games this season, and it all comes down to this: 14 minutes to decide who will represent in the SoCal final.
Yeah, it's a massive reward to then go to that final next week, and then of course the state championship as well. Who will be crowned California's champion? We'll wait and see. It's a big last 35 minutes in this one, and it's all level. It's all on the line.
Double with some good possession, Rukono. And it's dropped down to the ground. Mitchell Farmer just leaves it behind. Both sides been guilty with ball in hand to commit some errors they wouldn't normally do. But of course, this is such a tense clash.
Yeah, Mitchell Farmer had a couple of really good carries in that first half. A similar pattern of play. LCC clearly wanting to play off the top of the line out. Not really wanting to do much driving and mauling against this physical big Falcons pack of forwards. I'm also, just from that line out, Dallin, I noticed the assistant sideline referee with the flag. It looks as though it's probably the wind is in favor of the Mavericks. Maybe keep an eye on that as the Falcons have this attack into the wind.
Yeah, the Falcons look to kick through their fly off. Well received. The return kick from Avi Dutt, bouncing everywhere. Oh, and almost scooping it up again. So close.
would say whenever you
I don't know if you can pick that up, Dallin, on... Oh, certainly, I think I heard the referee correctly.
Went straight out of bounds. It was right on the line.
kind of like what's happening here.
Therefore,
I thought he was saying that they weren't retreating, so when the Mavericks made that kick, they didn't retreat. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I heard that. Certainly, and now a scrum. It's not a penalty. That's why I thought the penalty might have been to the Falcons, but in the end, it comes to Falcons of the scrum. Not completely sure what happened there, Dallin. Maybe you know better than I do.
I think I heard the PA say there was a kick out on the full from the Costa Canyon. That makes sense. So scrum here for the Falcons. They look to attack. Tate in midfield with a big, strong fend again. Andrew Tate, the captain, with a 12 jumper. Possession now for his side as they drive in low, knocking back a couple of players. Hensley's one of those. Penalty for Torrey Pines.
Looks as though penalising for at the ruck, pulling the player over the ball. Whatever the case, it's just this little bit of ill discipline and these errors that are in your control for the Mavericks and for the Falcons as the game goes on, particularly as it's close. The last thing you want to do is give easy penalties away. That just gives easy territory, Dallin, and this is what the Falcons have now. A line out inside the 22, and they've barely had to do anything for it. It's just come from the Mavericks' ill discipline.
That's right, this time the line-out, though, doesn't go according to plan initially. Cage picks this one up, does the inside centre, so they still have possession to the home side. One try through Duck Choi has them on the board. He carries again. Torrey Pines with Bryson Waterhouse. Their forwards get a lot of work done. Nick Tate by himself. Now finally arriving as some support runners. O'Bell there around the fringes behind the back paw. Garcia rips out of the first tackle as Gabriel Garcia. Hard play to bring down. Little dummy around the fringes. Alex Britson gets close. And it's Torrey Pines that continue wave after attack. Garcia yet again. He's within a metre. And the Falcons pick and drive. And they're over the line. That's shy. It's awarded. The big number 8 gets it done. Jay Farkash cashes in here for Torrey Pines. A vital time to score, and they have the lead.
Cashes in indeed. Well said, Dallin Stanford. There we go. Great work from the big number 8. Wanted to keep an eye on him. The battle of the 8s between Farkash for the Falcons and Hensley for the Mavericks. There, Farkash gets over, just picking over the line. All a little bit too simple and too easy. And power coming through around the ruck. It worked well for the first try in the first half for the Falcons. And as this game goes on and it gets tight, you want to go to the things you know well and what you do well. Great try.
Reese Curtis adds the extra 2. It's 14-7. And Shay Farkash, the top try scorer this season, adds yet another. Believe it or not, only started rugby last year, former wrestler. He is one to watch for the future, Will.
That is mad. I actually didn't know that bit there. Only started a year ago. That's incredible. And I know here in the US, we're looking for some of those crossover athletes. And I think everyone associates, well, it's got to come from football. Not quite. You don't have to just look to the football scene for maybe a future rugby player. Great to hear that wrestling story. I remember Corey Daniel, the USA Eagle, plays for Old Glory DC on the East Coast in Major League Rugby. He was a former wrestler. And you know, hey, if you can scrap, if you can grapple, and you can wrestle, you can become a good rugby player, like Farkash shows.
You're absolutely right about that. So many great wrestlers in the game of rugby. Just see a little breakdown here. Our referee's going to have a little chat to the touch judge to see what occurred there.
Consulting with the assistant referee.
Maybe, and you're mainly because you have the time, and secondly, the broadcasters want to talk about it, talk to the viewers.
Taking a look here, what happens off that restart. Looked as though the first offence was a knock-on from the Falcons. Then a conversation from the referee to his assistant official on the edge means
Unpopular.
that we've got a penalty. There's a few choice words maybe from the crowd. We don't want to hear that or see that. They're not involved in the game. It's about the boys on the field as the referee takes charge now for Reese Curtis to get an exit for the Falcons out of their 22.
Yeah, Reese Curtis with a big kick. His brother plays rugby at Cal, is watching this for sure. James Curtis, he looks on. And the rest of the Curtis family as well. It's a nice touch finder from the penalty. And a couple of those errors you mentioned from La Costa Canyon is certainly coming in, and that's why you see the Falcons up 14-7. Line out of the halfway line. McTaich throws. Bounce ball, it's okay. Curtis with the hands. Torrey Pines look to recycle well from the forwards on the far side, but the backs go the other way. In midfield, Ezra Hyde and Andrew Tate are the centre pairing. Another strong carry here from Bryson Waterhouse, the lively player. Garcia again, bouncing off the first. He takes on Henry Mallory and gets past him towards the halfway line. Strong phase work from the Falcons. The only side undefeated so far. Now short ball, good catch. To the ground goes Hyde, but they have knocked that one on.
Good defensive work there. Looks like that's Mitchell Farmer, who's been excellent with ball in hand, but also putting a big stop on the gain line. That's where the turnover comes. There he is. Good tackle from Mitchell Farmer, getting that body to floor. That's when, as soon as you can get the man to floor, that's when you can compete. Always a big believer in low tackling for all youngsters out there. So important, technique-wise. Chop the legs, they don't go anywhere.
Well, particularly when you're smaller players like myself and yourself, Will. Here we go, the ball goes to the back here for the Costa Canyon. They've dropped it to the ground. And there was pressure coming up here from Torrey Pines.
Pressure indeed, Alan. I was about to say whether we were good defenders ourselves. I'm not sure either of us can say that, but nonetheless, you are correct. A little bit of an error coming there from the Mavericks just when they got such a good turnover. Bit of a forcing attack. This is probably their first attack they've got going in this second half from that set piece. Maybe just get themselves back in. They're really backing their skills. They like to try and move that ball out wide. Max Racono, the fly half, loves to put some zip on the ball, just maybe forcing it out the back on that occasion.
Here come the Falcons now. Attacking near the short side. Good strong work upfield. Hayden Sorensen in to help out as well. The forwards now. The try scorer, Duck Choi. Bounces over one with advantage from our referee. Penalty advantage. Garcia and Farkash working in tandem. More width on attack here for Torrey Pines. Almost free. Ewan Hope Bell, the number 7 now around the fringes. Alex Bridson. And it's Andrew Tate at scrum off. This one goes straight to the deck from Waterhouse. So we'll come back. And this momentum will stay with the home side.
Yeah, the momentum that leads to pressure, which then leads to penalties. As the referee has a word with the Mavericks. It was good defense in the end by the Mavericks on that far side. Coming all the way back to a penalty. I didn't know quite what the offence was. But you feel that Torrey Pines are just building a little bit of, as you say, momentum and a feeling of continuity in their attack. They certainly are the ones making the least amount of mistakes so far in the second half. And they're the ones in the lead on the scoreboard.
And well, I just see the hand signals there from our referee. It's the second time it's happened in this game, and just pulling around at ruck time. So pulling the rucker off the possession. You can, of course, drive through, but not to pull them off their feet. So in the end, it's another brilliant attacking opportunity here for Torrey Pines.
going with a pretty full line out as well. So I'm predicting this, Dallin, but they have an excellent driving maul. Expect to maybe see it here.
It just takes a few games. Yeah, it just takes a few games.
Solid take there from Hope Bell. Well, Hooley is a correct 100%, as you would expect. Forwards go to work. Tells to use it. So now they set a contact point to attack with. They're up 14-7 here in the second half. Tate. Numbers looping around, the ball's loose. Yet another penalty.
That's a replay. You want to get a replay on the injury and the foul or whatever it is. It's kind of both. Well, it happened the same play. Whatever the end of that play was. Plus we have plenty of time.
Taking a look at this infringement.
And this is one that you could probably show.
Good carry from the captain, Andrew Tate, just getting round one, getting over the gain line. Penalty advantage already in place. I'm wondering where the injury comes from. I think it's just a bit of a clash off the ball, nothing deliberate. But so far, I always say I remember when I was playing in teams, and you've got to make sure that you stay on the right side of the referee. It's very easy that penalties accumulate, and it looks as though probably if you're a Mavericks supporter, you're thinking, geez, the referee is getting on us, and it maybe feels a bit unfair, but it's quite hard when you've got a side like the Falcons who are on top, building that pressure. The referee's going to look to see that the team on the back foot are probably going to be the ones who end up conceding the penalties just because they are in a back foot position. They might be slightly offside, they might be not rolling away. It's just little things like that where you paint a picture for the referee, Dallin, and in the end, penalties accumulate. And I think if Reese Curtis backs his foot here, his kicking ability, this could be an easy 3 points.
I think it's going to be a kick for Torrey.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You see Oscar Estrada being spoken to, the La Costa Canyon captain. Here's another look at what happened. And Bryson Waterhouse all okay. We had the medic on the field. And we're good to go with a penalty attempt. Missed the first one earlier in the game. And Torrey Pines laugh. Reese Curtis, though, has a chance to extend the lead by 10 points. And a beautiful penalty kick, 17-10. The Falcons lead the Mavericks here in the second half.
Good building of the scoreboard by the Falcons. Mature decision from Reese Curtis and Andrew Tate, the captain for the Falcons. I'm sure they would want maybe the forwards, as always. Forwards want that ball going to the corner and they want to probably push over for a try, but when you've got points on offer like that, extend the scoreboard. It's 17 points to 10 now in the Falcons' favour.
Good high kick.
Yeah, 17-7 in fact it is, so we'll change that in just a second. Torrey Pines look to clear their lines after receiving this, and touch judge goes closer to the line.
That's a great shout, Dallin. Even I didn't quite break that out from our scoreboard. It is Mavericks 7. The Falcons have just pushed that extension to 17 points, make them go a clear over a score lead in this game. And the home crowd as well, just picking up some great support as well from LCC, not too far away here in Southern California from each other. So great to have both teams supported so well.
Yeah, always great to see that. The fans, the families in the crowd. Pinched at line out time. Ball's bounced down and then hit a player in front. So go to the first error.
This is a free kick, Dallin, so it's going to be probably a tap and go. Referee making sure he explains fully the decisions that he's making. Great to see the referees here, all coming from the SoCal Youth Rugby Group. Great work they do in this region.
Yeah, that's right. Communicate superbly. As La Costa Canyon, the Mavericks now look to go on attack. Trailing by 10 points. Rugona goes to the right. Big tackle. Flies in there on Charlie Mallory. Rakono again, floats one wide. Here we go, George Collins now, looking to attack. Fends the first one. Galloping upfield and then unstable as he hits the deck, but they were playing with advantage, were the visiting Mavericks.
Max Rakono's got such a lovely passing ability to his game, hasn't he? He can fizz that ball out to the wide channels, and it's definitely where we saw some territory gains by the Mavericks in that first half. They just wanted to try and build some phases in this second half. It's like they barely had any possession. We don't have a possession stat in front of us, but it really has been all Falcons. Finally now, the Mavericks get going, and they're inside the Falcons 22. And you think, to be honest, Alan, this is going to be a time in the game where they want to turn this pressure into points of their own.
That's right, the Mavericks led 7-0, conceded the last 17 points, and now they're fine here with their big number 8. Luke Hensley with a take. They work it around and drop this one. Frustration creeping in here for the Mavericks. Perfect opportunity to strike. Unfortunately, that one goes away.
Really unfortunate. It was great clean ball from the line out. Luke Hensley, the jumping option. And it's been 2 line-outs actually in this first half, and they've just not gone to plan. They've tried to hit in the midfield as they've done before. Sorry, in the second half, it's not gone quite to plan.
You should be fine. You'll come back right on time.
And a knock-on, and easily giving the ball up back to the Falcons.
Ball in. Ball out.
Torrey Pines with their flap, hoofs this one downfield, does Reese Curtis. Mentioned the battle of the 10s, and Curtis has done really well with the boot. Max Rakono hasn't had a lot of opportunities in this game, as we've seen earlier in the season, where he could just take the game himself and dominate.
Yeah, you're right, Talon, but like for any number 10 out there, whether you're playing for the Eagles or whether you're playing here at high school, you need to try and get your team on the front foot. And so far in the second half, like, the Mavericks have really struggled to get going in any kind of department. It's been scrappy ball, even there from that line out, making errors. And it doesn't matter what Max Rakono does. If he doesn't have front foot ball, it's very hard to get an attack going.
No, you're spot on indeed, and it's charged down from all sorts of pressure. As we mentioned that, great to get the insights of former US international fly-off and fullback Will Hooley as Torrey Pines look to go to work right now. Keeping that pressure on with advantage as well. A big bump from Garcia. A live wire, Gabriel Garcia. Chip over the top with that advantage. Curtis chases and will come back.
It's computed into Reese Curtis when he has an advantage to go for the chip and chase, isn't it? Talented footballer, maybe not the right option there, even though he did have the advantage, but right on cue when I was saying how Max Rakono has just been under pressure. And in this first half, the kick, he just doesn't stand deep enough. You've got to make sure as a fly half, if you are looking to kick and you are under pressure, if you're on the back foot, just give yourself an extra few meters from that pass. Delport's got a good enough pass, the scrum half for the Mavericks. You don't need to put yourself under pressure, you invite it. Falcons get off the line. That kick from the moment he was about to get his leg moving, you knew it was going to get charged down. Great work from the Falcons. For Rakono, just needs to set himself a little bit deeper so he doesn't invite that pressure onto them. For the Falcons now, this is a great opportunity, Dallin, really to try and, from this turnover, now they find themselves only 10 meters out. This could be a bit of a nail in the coffin and control this game.
That's right, this is the SoCal Premier League semi-final. Torrey Pines, the home side, looking to add more points on the board as they lead by 10. Nice little hands from the centre pairing with Hyde to Tate. Curtis, crossfield kick from the fly half. Just too long. But a nice little idea. And again, was our referee playing advantage? I think so.
Coming back for bringing down illegally at the driving maul, and Curtis has a full box of tricks. He'll almost be disappointed in himself. I've seen him already hit a cross kick previously in the season. That one just a little bit too far for his winger, Henry Collins, on that right-hand side, but they will kick this ball back into this corner and get another drive going. Massive moment in the game, Dallin. Mavericks need everything in their defensive power to repel this if they want to continue to be in this game. Falcons, really a big chance.
Beautiful work here down the fringes. Farkash getting very close, reaching for the line. Just short. Here comes Torrey Pines. Hunting for a third try. The forwards like to keep it tight. Gabriel Garcia in there as well. He's wearing 6 also with the headgear. And our referees get to double check things again with our touch judge. And try awarded. Torrey Pines start to celebrate. They are putting in some big plays and their forwards rewarded with another brilliant try.
Discussion with the Mavericks players. Do we get to see this ball hit and get over the line? Great carry from Farkash. He's been excellent today. He really has stood up, the number 8 for the Falcons. I actually thought he maybe got over the line there, Dallin, and maybe that was the discussion. The assistant referee from the sideline wanting to come in, and the referee only heard him maybe late. I think that might have been the case rather than the pick and go before that. Perfect. Maybe in my mind, I just want to give it a Farkash for that excellent carry.
I'm with you, my friend.
Yeah, Falcons scored.
Nails the conversion. Torrey Pines are now leading 24 points to 7 in full control of this game. We mentioned they were trailing 7-0, but have scored the last 24 points, and their forwards do the damage.
It's what we said before, wasn't it? The Falcons notorious for having that very methodical, physical game, backing their forwards, backing their talisman in the back row, number 8, Sheikh Farkash. He certainly stood out to me today as an MVP candidate, as unfortunately now the Mavericks trying a little bit too hard. The kick goes out on the full, so it will be a scrum on the halfway line to the Falcons. Shame to see that.
Yeah, unfortunate error indeed. They've had a few uncharacteristic ones indeed. They played such a close game last time they met in January. You mentioned the score 21-15, and they knew what they were up against. And right now, it's the Falcons conceding less possession, and of course, when they have it, making it count. Halfway line attack here for Torrey Pines. Approaching the hour mark in this game. Towards the short side, Curtis goes. Good fend. More big shots coming in as the forwards with Torrey Pines. Garcia, brilliant work. Farkash with him. 6 and the 8 working in tandem. Duck Choi flies in for Torrey Pines. They have real momentum. And you can feel the crowd just urging them on. And the arm comes up again. Yet another penalty. The count is racking up against La Costa Canyon.
That one against Ryan Scully. Actually thought he got a little bit unlucky there, that LCC 13. I thought he got into a really good position. I think from what I saw from the referee's body language, he was trying to tell him he wasn't holding up his body weight. You've got to make sure if you're going for the ball on a turnover, you've got to make sure that your 2 feet, are keeping your body weight up rather than just all your body weight on your hands. But whatever the case, the referee gives a penalty. And Reese Curtis can add 3 points to his tally and an extra 3 points to the Falcons.
This is the most difficult kick so far for the Torrey Pines fly half.
At the base of the field goal post.
Reese Curtis with a big strike. Falls just short. Oh, it has that a try. Has that been knocked on and a try scored? I'd like to check that, my friend.
So can you replay that kick? That kick you want to... No. Wait.
The kick unsuccessful, 22-meter drop out. Delport goes downtown, chasing Torrey Pines back. Looking for their own counter. Nice little hands there from Britson. And the Mavericks would love to get possession back. They're throwing everything at this. And they have their hands on possession with 10 minutes to go.
Referee exerting his authority here.
10 minutes to go.
There's going to be a scrum
17
down.
points, the deficit. Definitely not over. Big scrum attack now for the visitors, trying to book their place in that SoCal final next week. At the moment, the Falcons showing that they are in charge. There's still, though, 10 minutes. Something needs to happen, though, for the Mavericks now, Dallin.
That's right, the Mavericks ranked 3 by Rugby Riot. Torrey Pines ranked 2. Rukono with a loop around, little backline move, skipping out of tackles. Some nice work from Ryan Scully. Delport round the fringes. Flag goes up. It's the second time the scrum off has almost been away. He's still trying things.
The sideline, the most effective tackler in all of rugby.
Just hearing on the stadium announcer, the sideline being the most effective tackler in rugby. He's not wrong. Delport just tries to tiptoe himself. Not quite, just going out of play. Line out for the Falcons.
Again, good set piece to work with as they charge upfield. Torrey Pines and Duck Choi take it to the line. Curtis clears the lines. Oh, it's a low kick, been charged down. Tremendous effort from Hensley.
It's going to be a dropout from the try line. Good defense.
He had a charge down against Rukono. This is the first one against Reese Curtis. Just gets his kick a little bit too low. I wonder whether he hit it perfectly. None other than Luke Hensley there, the big frame, getting the charge down. But Curtis managed to get back, get it on the floor and get that goal line dropout.
That's a beautiful kick. Able to drop it in the field of play and then roll out. As a kicker yourself, Will, that was fantastic.
It's wonderful when you see someone make amends for a previous error. Kickers, the life of a kicker, you're used to being the glory and also being the villain as well if you get it wrong. Fortunately for Reese Curtis, even with that charge down, his team are in control, but it's a great dropout and a great territory game.
Now, what's in store with us with the Mavericks? Big shot, big carry, upended. Farkas dropping his man to the ground. Delport looks to go wide. Hensley, the short ball to Mallory, doing really well. The lone try scorer for the Mavericks gets the pass up. The flag has gone up, and there's something happening in back play as tempers start to rise in the semi-final.
Great hands on this far side. Big handoff coming in from the try scorer Henry Mallory. As he tried to keep the ball in play, comes back though for a penalty. You can see what it means. Both teams getting fired up. These high school rugby players, it means so much to their school, and I don't mind seeing that so long as it doesn't boil over too much. It's great to see what it means to play for their high schools in this kind of game, semi-final action. It's the games that you want to play when you're a youngster. It's the games that you want to play as a rugby player.
Pretty good sportsmanship in rugby.
Just a talking to from our referee. For one group of players, this will be their last high school game, potentially if they're in their final year. A penalty towards the Costa Canyon Mavericks. And Max Rukono with his father, who's coaching currently Nick Rukono, looks on. Can they stage a comeback with just over 5 to go?
To the Mavericks. They choose to take the territory. Is going to be a line out.
What do you reckon, Dallin? Is this a little bit too far out of sight now? It's just over 5 minutes. A big 17-point gap.
Yeah, I think that penalty really put it over the edge. Clever play from the Falcons. Because 2 converted tries, they could see it happening in any game if things go according to plan. Estrada goes. The beautiful throw over the top. Here we go with the Mavericks. Looking for some creative genius, but they give away a penalty. They needed to score on that movement.
Torrey Pines forcing a turnover.
Mavericks players not happy about something, but to be honest, Alan, they can only be frustrated with themselves. A great ball right over the top, like a Hail Mary to the center. Would have been a planned move, and because it was a planned move, I was so surprised that the support runner wasn't there for the breakdown. The center getting tackled there. I think it was Charlie Mallory getting tackled. No support around with him. This is an easy turnover for the Falcons and for the referee to give. So whilst something they didn't agree with, the Mavericks, you've got to look within. It was a penalty that they really could have avoided just by having their support player with the carrier.
Yeah, that's happened a few times in today's game. And in the end, the home side, with a slow start from Torrey Pines, scored some brilliant tries with Duck Choi, Shea Farkash. Might even be Garcia they got in that last score. We'll have to check to see when we get the replays here for the highlights. Picked up here from the Mavericks. And every time the clock stops and the scrum is reset, valuable time ticks away. Well,
Maverick ball out to 32.
Yeah, I'm sure the Mavericks would have wanted that ball to continue. Maybe they had an advantage
See what they can do with it.
from the knock-on. This is the play that we saw earlier, that fantastic line-out move, but he's just on his own. Support play needed to be there for the Mavericks. That's why it was such an easy turnover. But anyway, they still managed to keep the ball here, an attacking scrum in the middle of the field.
Luke Hensley picks up the number 8, breaks away, and we get his pass away. His inside centre, Charlie Mallory, or La Costa Canyon. They have advantage now. A rare time for the side in white to attack with, trailing 24-7. There's the penalty mark. Rakono wants to boot this one downfield, but he needs to get going with under 3 minutes to play.
Absolute monster hit coming in from Duck Choi, from Falcons a bit earlier, but that ball goes dead, Dallin. Oh no, that's not what you need. Trying to go quickly, trying to find the kick into the corner from Max Rakono. He's had an excellent high school season, but unfortunately when you just try and force something, that's when you make errors. The kick going dead, didn't find the sideline, and that's why the Falcons have this scrum, and with just over 2 minutes left, I think it's safe to say that Torrey Pines have booked themselves a spot in next week's final.
Torrey Pines, the defending SoCal champion, with possession of big bump to the ground. Curtis drops Delport. 2 of the great players on display here. As the home side, the Falcons will look to face the winner of Miracosta and Orange Lutheran next week in 7 days' time. Referee has blown his whistle, so we'll go back to the penalty.
LCC is offside, says the referee.
Some early celebrations here, Dallin. They know it. Big Reese Curtis knows it as well. He's had a fantastic game, the number 10. Scored the points when he's needed to. He's operated very well as a playmaker. An excellent kick there. As the referee just has maybe a word. I don't think that is the final whistle. The other 2 individuals definitely want to shout out to for Torrey Pines is number 4, Duck Choi. He's been massive, quite literally, and in his performance today as well. And then Shea Farkash, what a talent. A former wrestler, or maybe even still a current wrestler. Brilliant in the open, in the loose, and in defense, the number 8 for Torrey Pines.
Superb players standing up at the right time. They've had a wonderful season so far and will continue to roll. The discipline has been fantastic. Set piece excellent. They've ridden some brilliant waves of momentum in this game, scored some excellent tries as their forwards again do all the hard yards. And you mentioned in the build-up how the forwards are the ones that will control this game and they will decide the fate of it. And for Torrey Pines, their pack have been excellent. Pinched here by the Mavericks. Last few moments of this game. Can they get another score? Rukono looking to attack himself, draws the line. There's a lot of numbers here, and this one goes to ground. Unfortunately, that sums up the game for the Mavericks. They've tried everything. It just hasn't worked out today.
Very well summed up, Dallin. It's not through a lack of effort or lack of trying. Just the ball that little bit too far out in front. And particularly in this second half, it has just been that few handling mistakes in the end that has maybe just let the Mavericks down. Meanwhile, the Falcons have shown their prowess, their power up front. They've been clinical. Every opportunity, it feels like, when they've got into the Mavericks 22, they've come away with points. An excellent, powerful performance from the Falcons. And as for the Mavericks, though, they still should hang their heads up high. They've had a great season, fantastic program and some fantastic players, but for them, it's just not going to be.
The crowd applauding. Two excellent sides, as you mentioned. Costa Canyon go 5-2. Nick Rukono and thoughts with Michael Mukuru, who's in Uganda, who's watching on. But it is Matty Sandoval's side, Torrey Pines, the Falcons. Always special moments as well to do in front of family and friends. Their journey will continue. Final moment in this game. Torrey Pines around the fringes. Still looking to play with ball in hand. Tate supported there by Ezra Hyde. Drop to the ground. We will continue.
We're coming down to the last few plays of the game here.
Big cheers. We get another replacement. Getting action in the final moments of this game. Rugby is such a squad team game. Players on the field could not do it without the players offered as well. Those not able to get an opportunity, some of the reserve players, but they may next week as well. Free kick for the Mavericks. Quick tap here from Delport around the fringes. Gets the offload. Still there for Collins, doing well across field. Trying to link up nicely with the Mavericks. Support from the back line. Delport decides to kick it. It's a very deep kick. Perhaps ball in hand should have been the option, but they had a penalty advantage, so they go to the halfway line. We're not done in this game.
Still not done yet. Obviously, the result is done, but got to hand it to these guys. They're still wanting to play, still wanting to make their school proud, as Max Rukono, actually, I think, decides to tap and go, and he puts a high one up. There you go. Box of all tricks.
Hensley chases. The Falcons put this one up. That is full time. The Torrey Pines Falcons will fly into the SoCal final next week. They have done it at home in front of family and friends. A very strong performance. A 24-7 result against the Mavericks. Phenomenal players on display here, Will. We've been thoroughly entertained, particularly by the Torrey Pines team.
Credit to everyone involved in this game today, both, of course, the Falcons who go on to the final. Matty Sandoval's men, young men, have done such a tremendous job. They've been unbeaten all season. But for LCC as well, the Mavericks, hold your heads up high. There's plenty there in this game to be proud about, and they've had a terrific season. Some real standout players, but overall, what a great game of rugby. It's so good to see the high school rugby development here in the US. It's only going to be good for the game in general, the growth of rugby here in America. But as for the Falcons, they're the ones that win it today, 24-7, Dallin. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I look forward to hopefully catching them next week in the final.
That's right. Thanks to everyone tuning in from around the globe. Brilliant to have your company. Special thanks, of course, to all our partners to bring us this game. TVX Sports Video have been brilliant. in bringing us this coverage, as well as Rugby Riot and USA Youth and High School Rugby. I'm Dallin Stanford, and alongside Will Hooley, it's been superb to be here with you. 24 points to 7, the final score in the end. It's the Torrey Pines Falcons that beat the Costa Canyon Mavericks, and we can't wait to see you next time in the SoCal final. Thanks again for tuning in and your support of this brilliant high school rugby game. Fantastic to be here with you. Cheers from us. Be safe out there, and we'll see you soon as Torrey Pines continues to ride this high wave of momentum. Let's take a look at the highlights from this superb game. Will you talk us through it, my friend?
What a great game of rugby, and it really started with a physical edge in the first half. It was 7 apiece after the first 35 minutes. It was the first try coming from this fortuitous bounce, but pounced upon by Henry Mallory, the big number 3 for La Costa getting over. Torrey Pines, take another look at it there. You just don't want to let a rugby ball bounce, guys. I'm telling you that now for anyone watching out there. Torrey Pines then replied. It was 7 apiece. It was all up for grabs in the second half. Seeing maybe if more of those highlights come up, Dallin, but ultimately it was all about the Falcons in the second half, finishing this 24-7.
That's right, tries from Shea Farkash. We thought he got a second. Garcia may have been the one to score it. Here's a look at the second half.
Big Duck Choi wearing the 4 for the Falcons. Another one of my players that I wanted to pick out who stood out today. Getting that first try for Torrey Pines in that first half. Big carry there from Duck Choi, and they just kept going towards the line. This was Farkash's try, the number 8. A reward for all his hard work this afternoon. The big man, the wrestler from Torrey Pines Falcons. And then as it just started to open up, Torrey Pines were lethal when they got inside the LCC half. Always seemed to come away with points in the end. The boot of Reese Curtis being accurate, just keeping the scoreboard ticking over, exactly what you want to do in playoff rugby. This was the pressure. Charge down kick, Max Rakono's kick charged down, and they then just went to work. Patient work, keeping the ball in hand. And it's the power game for me, Dallin, that was so impressive. The likes of big Gabriel Garcia getting over. And another one for Farkash. We thought this was his other try. We didn't completely get a look who scored, but it was the sideline official who came in and said the ball had been grounded in the end. That was the try that really put the game to bed. And for you, Dallin, I'm coming back to you, asking you what was probably the thing that really stood out in your eyes.
Yeah, I just think the connectivity of the Torrey Pines side. We mentioned the numbers of the breakdown, how they're able to support each other. Their defense was excellent because, of course, there are lots of times the Mavericks had possession, particularly in the first half. But they were able to disrupt. They were able to stop massive shots coming in from both sides. But Torrey Pines really stood up to be counted. And, of course, when they had the opportunities, they took them. Scoring some excellent tries. We mentioned in this game, their forwards were sublime. And in the end, they held up for a very strong win, 24 points to 7. Those were the highlights. And of course, we again thank you for your time and your company. Torrey Pines, the winners here by 24 points to 7. They will rest up and get ready for the SoCal final next week. Congratulations to the Falcons and, of course, to the Mavericks for a very fine season until today. For Dallin Stanford and Will Hooley and TVX Sports Video, Rugby Riot and USA Youth and High School Rugby, thank you so much. We'll see you in a week's time.